Hi there, I'm Abby, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make this fabulous dress. It's all done on an overlocker. It's really easy to do. It's one of my quick, easy projects that kids can do, adults can do. You can do the straps on the overlocker. I'll show you how to do that. And you can even hem it using the blind hem, which we've done in previous videos, but I'll show you that again in this video. It's an overlocker job. It will probably take you less than an hour to do if you're jolly quick, and you need to be comfortable using your overlocker. If you're not, go and have a look at the other videos I've created for you to learn how to use your overlocker and to get the best of it for you. So let's draw that simply. We've got a square bodice there, and it joins to an A-line skirt there, and I've added a curve to that. Now I'm going to work out what I need to do for the top here. So I've got two pieces of fabric there. So I need to work out how tall I need this piece, and I need to work out how wide I need this piece. So for the wide, that's easy. So that's our waist, is 65 centimetres. I'm going to allow a comfort space, so I'm going to allow 3 centimetres for comfort. And because I've got 2 seams there and 2 seams there, I've got 4 seams in all, I'm going to allow 1 centimetre each for each seam. So if I add that up, 72 centimetres. So that means the whole of this circumference is actually 72 centimetres. I'm not going to cut out one tube at 72 centimetres. I'm going to cut out a quarter of the front piece, which will be the same as the back piece. And that, if I divide that by 4, that gives me 18 centimetres. So the template I need to draw now, it's got a waist of 18 centimetres. And I'm going to place that on the fold. Okay. So now how tall do we want this? How tall we want the bodice? So that's going to be 20 centimetres along there. But we need to add a seam at the top to fold it over and hem it. So I'm going to allow 2 centimetres up there. So bodice, let's put that there. Bodice height equals 20 centimetres. So 2 centimetres at the top fold, and 1 centimetre to join the skirt. I'm going to call that seam allowance. So we need to make that 23 centimetres. So there we go. That's our bodice template. Let me put a red circle around that so we don't lose it. There we go. So for the skirt, let's just draw a line there. So skirt. Now, how long do we want this skirt to be? We want that skirt to be 45 centimetres long. Okay, so I'm going to draw my skirt to be half that shape. So it's going to go straight across there, down, and it's going to curve round there. So it's going to curve around there. So that's got to work out to be 45 centimetres at the end. I'm going to hem at the bottom, and I'm going to sew this top to the bodice here. So I'm going to have a 45 length, 45 centimetres. I'm going to add 1 centimetre for that seam allowance at the top. Let's call it a seam allowance there. And we're going to add 2 centimetres there for the hem. That's 48 centimetres. So I need to make sure when I cut my template out that that's 48 centimetres. And because it's rounded, that's got to be 48 centimetres as well. We're going to keep it very simple. So I'm going to freehand that curve. That's going to be straight. And if you remember rightly, that's going to be joined to the waist. So it's going to be 18 centimetres. We've already worked that out. Okay. How easy is that? let's mark that so we know what our templates need to look like. Now I've got my first straight line. I need to draw a rectangle that's 23 centimetres by 18 centimetres. Let's do that. I have my tape measure. So we'll mark that at 18 centimetres. I'm going to go down 23 centimetres. Mark it there. Just draw another straight line going across. There we go. So that's my waist, 18. Just join those dots. Now, as you saw in my template, I marked where I need to place this pattern on the fold. So right, big fold on there so you can't miss it, and I'm going to call that bodice. Okay, and we need to cut to, you could write the measurement of it, so waist 65 centimetres. So because, let's go back to this, our top of our skirt is the same, I'm actually just going to draw my skirt coming from there. I need to come down 48 centimetres. Okay, so we're coming down 48 centimetres. There we go. And from there, you can decide how much curve you'd like on your pattern. I think I'll just go for something like that. And I'm going to measure 48 centimetres there. And there we go. If I draw that line there. And then I'm going to straighten up this line. So match that line going across the paper, like that. And then freehand draw. So rather than with a Sharpie, I'm going to get a pencil. And just draw a nice curve coming in. There we go. All right, now you can change that as much as you want. You can adapt these patterns to how you want them. And it's so easy and so pretty. Why wouldn't you use it? So then just cut this out. Let's just remind ourselves to put this on the fold. We're going to call this a skirt, and we're going to put cut to, and it's for the waist of 65 centimetres. Again, give it a name. Now, I've got a great tip for you. If you want to keep hold of these patterns for a while, this is what I do. So, get your tape dispenser, grab a piece of sellotape, and place tape on your lines. So it's not quite long enough there. So when you come to cutting it out, make sure they're long enough. So when you come to cutting them out, they're there to keep forever, and they will last much better for you. Make sure you cut them neatly. Don't rush it like me. Now, if you wanted to add any sort of shape to your bodice, if you want to make a sweet line shape, you want to make a heart shape, you can do that. Or if you want to add a little curve going in or up. You can do that. I'm keeping it very simple and very straight for beginners. Here we have our fabric folded over. Make sure we've got good sides together, only because it's easier to do it this way for you in the long run. Make sure that's all nice and straight. Make sure these are nice and straight. Don't worry about that not being straight. If that's not straight, don't worry. That's because it's not been cut right. Match the selvages, and that will give you a weave going straight. Not necessarily true with cottons, but it is with Scuba because it's a knit and it's usually woven neat like that. Okay, so there we go. So I've got 2 folds there. Just fold it over neatly. And I'm going to place it so that the 2 folds are on this side. So now watch out because of the mismatch up there. Don't lay your pattern piece right up to the top. You can. Now, if like me, you find that you're slightly short, you could actually just come down a little bit less, so you're not having to cut it out twice. It's only a marginal amount and it really doesn't matter. I don't like to pin my fabric that I'm going to sew. If I can avoid it, I will. Pin elsewhere, because if you're going to pucker your fabric or damage it somewhere else. Pin here and around. And this is a great project for kids, teenagers who want to make a summer dress for themselves. It really is. And actually this pattern suits a lot of adults. I've seen this in New Look, in River Island, H&M. So I've seen this pattern come up again and again. And when you have a daughter who wants to buy them for £15 a shop, when you can buy the fabric for next to nothing, it doesn't happen. So just draw around the fabric and then remove the pattern and cut it out. So here's the machine ready and set up. You can see there I've got lots of different colours on there ready to use on this summery fabric. If you don't know how to thread up your machine or you struggle, go and watch the video where I show you how to do it. Just click on the card above and I'll go through it step by step with you. It's helped lots of people and I'm sure it will help you too. So before you do any stitching, you want to make sure that your sewing machine is producing the stitches that you need for this particular project. So we can start with the 2 straps first. And I'm going to show you how I do the straps. So I need a long string. Doesn't matter if it's not as long as my strap. Just bring it round to the front there. Fold it into the strap that we're going to turn over. Flip that over. And I'm going to keep this strap level with the edge of the foot. So the first part's always a little bit tricky. Let's put the foot up, pull on that loop and bring that down. So I'm encasing this chain, that extra long chain that I've created, into my strap. Keep that pulled. Don't stretch your fabric though. And as I overlock this, I'm eyeballing, keeping my fingers away from the knife, but I'm eyeballing this seam allowance here. Even though they've got marks up here, I don't actually like using them because I don't always cut exactly straight. I like to know how wide my cut's going to be. And then just make sure I'm pulling. Can you see what's happening here? I'm pulling that through. So just pull my chain through and keep carrying on sewing, making sure the chain is away from the edge of the foot.